The mornings are quiet here. Not the fragile kind of quiet that waits to be broken, the kind that simply exists. I walk Loki at the same time every day. He moves slowly, nose low, pausing often, mapping the world through scent and sound. He doesn't see where we're going. He trusts the rhythm of my steps, the pressure of the leash, the voice he has learned to follow. There was a time when I moved the same way, not seeing forward, not seeing sideways, only sensing danger and choosing between walls. Loki stops at the edge of the sidewalk, waits for my hand. When I touch his collar, he relaxes and steps forward again, confident, without needing proof. I wonder how long it took him to learn that trust. How many wrong turns came before this calm? I live alone now. Not hidden, not running, just elsewhere. The house is different. The air moves differently. My body does too. The years between then and now weren't gentle. Therapy was slow. Progress uneven. Some days felt like standing still. Others felt like moving backward. But I learned the shape of my own limits, learned how to recognize the edge before reaching it. I know now that I will never return to that place, the one where I believed the only exit was destruction. I don't forgive, but I don't burn either. That is what peace looks like for me. Loki pulls slightly toward a patch of sunlight warming the pavement. I let him linger there, letting the heat soak into both of us. We stand like that for a moment. A woman who has learned how to live, and a dog who cannot see the world, but moves through it anyway. There are losses that don't announce themselves. They settle quietly, folding into the body until you forget where they began. I grieved my child slowly, not in one moment, not in 1 year. The grief changed shape as I did. For a long time, my body felt like evidence, something that had failed, something that carried memory even when I didn't want it to. Therapy taught me how to stay with those sensations without running from them, how to name them without letting them decide who I was. I grieved the woman I might have become, the one who sat at a piano and let the world fall away for a while, the one whose hands moved towards sound instead of survival. That version of me existed once, not fully formed, but real. Letting her go hurt more than I expected. What frightened me most, looking back, wasn't what I planned. It was how narrow my vision had become. How I saw only 2 endings, him or me. Nothing in between. I understand now how that happens. How fear teaches you to mistake confinement for clarity. How desperation convinces you that violence is a door. I was blind to everything else. That blindness didn't make me evil. It made me human in a place no one should have to live. I carry that truth without flinching now. Some grief doesn't disappear. It loosens its grip. It makes room. And in that space, something steadier can take root. What I lost no longer defines what I am. David is part of my days now. Not loudly, not in ways that demand explanation. He exists in the margins, in routines, in shared silences, in the weight of things that don't need to be said. Loki knows his steps before I do. He lifts his head when David enters the room, tail moving slowly, certain. There is no hesitation there, no testing. Trust, learned over time. David doesn't rush me. He doesn't ask where this is going, or when. He understands that healing doesn't follow schedules, and that patience is not the same as waiting. Some evenings we walk together. Some evenings we don't. Both feel right. There are moments when our hands almost touch. Not by accident, not on purpose either. Just close enough to acknowledge what exists between us, and to leave it untouched. We know what we carry. The losses, the choices, the nights that still return uninvited. He doesn't try to fix any of it. Neither do I. That, more than anything, is what makes the space between us safe. I see the envelope as soon as I step inside. It waits on the small table by the door, separate from everything else, as if it already knows it carries a different weight. I recognize it, not by the address, by the way my body responds. Once, this would have undone me. I would have opened it standing there, heart racing, breath shallow, needing to know everything immediately. Now, I hang up my coat first. I wash my hands. I give myself time. The envelope doesn't move. It doesn't ask. It can wait. I sit at the table and rest my palm on the paper, feeling the thinness of it, the certainty that something is inside. Not a threat, not a demand, just a continuation. I notice how steady my hands are, how the room doesn't feel smaller, how the silence remains intact. I open the envelope carefully, without urgency. Whatever it contains will still be there in a moment, and so will I. I no longer have to rush the truth. Inside the envelope, there is a photograph. I know what I'm looking at the moment I see it. Sunlight fills the frame, warm, careless, unmistakable. A table outside, paper decorations, a cake leaning slightly to one side, imperfect in the way homemade things are. Lena is at the center of it. She's smiling wide, unguarded, the kind of smile that belongs only to children who don't know how to be careful yet. Her hands are messy with frosting, her eyes bright, alive in a way that doesn't ask permission. Hilda stands nearby, not posed, not performing for the camera, just there. There is something settled in her expression. Not happiness, something quieter, something earned. I hold the photograph for a long time, long enough to notice what isn't there. There is no tension in the frame, no small signs of fear disguised as obedience. This is not a child growing up alert. This is a child growing up free. I know what I did. I know the weight of it. That knowledge never leaves. I place the photograph back into the envelope and open the drawer beneath the table. Inside, there are others, different years, different light, the same smile. I add this one to the stack and close the drawer. Nothing needs to be said. The circle ended before it reached her. With some choices, you learn how to live.